Hello, y'all. Happy hump day, everybody. I think, oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry. Let me go to my chat so I can see who all in here. Welcome, 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 y'all. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let me go to my chat, y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hey, Lachelle. Hey, eBooks. Hey, Lisby. Hey, Miss Rosie. Hey, Cartman Carla. Hey, Tamara. Thank y'all for joining me today. Hold on, let me cut me down, child. Let me cut me down. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I honestly, truly appreciate you all that supports this content that matters. Okay. Now, let me see what mines I got. I got my trusty ebooks. I got my Raina Pooh. Hey, thank you, Raina. Oh, I ain't let's see. I got the truth. Making your background. Okay, the truth. Just let me know if you want to hit the panel. I'll drop the link. Hey, Miss Gloria. Hey, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, Rice Cake. Hey, Liz B. Let's see. Hey, Lady MV. Miss K. Miss K, you woke. You had a late night last night, Miss K. Yeah, I don't have a life where I'm making my girl. I know your life, child. I know your life, honey. I know one thing, you're an Uber for the baby. I know that. Hey, Scorpio. Happy Wednesday, sweetheart. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Who I feel like this murder stuff gonna last forever, y'all, but I'm here for it. Listen, I did not know, like I told y'all on the last episode, that I did not know that there was a part six to the Who Killed Stephen Smith. And guess what, y'all? After we get into this part six, I got some footage. Apparently, yep, Dan's mom, right? Apparently, within the last week or so, um Buster Murdoch has spoken on the allegations about his involvement in Stephen Smith's death. So we're gonna get into that, but we're gonna get into that after we listen to and react to part six. Let me pull it up. Part six of Brooks, one of y'all, if y'all can grab this link to the Murdoch, grab the link to the Murdoch Murder podcast. Is it Murdoch? Yeah, Murdoch Murders podcast. I don't know why. I guess because it's two M's. I had trouble saying Murdoch in the bushes. Okay, Mickey. Have a good day at work. The Murdoch Murders podcast. Okay, grab that link for me. Drop it in the chat for me, mods. So y'all go there and check this channel out. How many of y'all? And I know it's not many of y'all in here, but how many of y'all have gone to that channel and checked out some of the content on that channel? Because it's really good if y'all are interested in this case. It's really, really good. And so, hey, Slaying. Did y'all hear that Terry come on? I did. I was going to talk about that tonight when I went live, Slaying. I heard, of course, you know, Vail B Reacts. He did in fact, you know what? I might do a whole live by itself, reacting to his video on that. But I saw that, Slaying. Yes. Prayers for her family. And you know what I thought about when I first heard about it? I was like, dang. It was a blessing that she was able to get out to see her mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sad. It's really sad. Link, please. Okay. All right. Hold on, D-True. Y'all be sure to hit the like button for your girl. If you don't mind, I appreciate it. I really do. If you feel it in your spirit, please feel free to support the channel. Okay? And we're going to get into, let's see. Y'all make sure y'all, ooh, we got 31 likes, 30 people. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for the likes. I appreciate that. Hey, guys. Let's see. I haven't been on the site, but I'm here for. Oh, you haven't been on the channel, Tamara? Oh, okay. That's okay. That's okay. I'm just going to cover some of the videos off of there anyway. Yes, Scorpio, yes. All right. Y'all gonna hear Tatum and Keyshawn in the background. I tried to get them to go back there with Papa, but they said, Hey. Calm down. Okay, y'all. So I'm gonna try to wait for D True to hit the link, and then we're gonna get into it, y'all. We're gonna get into part 6 of Who Killed Stephen Smith. E Brooks, you know what? They sound so cute. Come get them, E Brooks. Come get them, E Brooks. Come get Double Trouble. Come get them, girl. Hold on, y'all. The Truth has entered the building. All right, Tamara. Thank you, boo. What's up, guy?
You're trying to put your picture down.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We're gonna do some breathing exercises. In, out,
We're not having a
in,
baby, are we?
out. No, we're just getting rid of the bad karma. In,
Oh, I done
out.
got rid of that, honey. I got my sage burning. I done got rid of all that. I'm good. I done got fussed at by Tony and Flexi. So I'm good. We good.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Just making sure you're all right. I
I'm
don't worry
blessed,
about it.
honey.
Okay.
Highly
Well,
favored. Don't you know? Y'all the truth. Y'all listen. I'm gonna tell y'all the secret about the truth. I'm finna dox him.
oh shit.
I know y'all think he's an evil clown, and he really is an evil clown, like 99% of the time. But the truth got a softer side. He's really sweet, y'all. That's all.
All right. Go look at my background so we can get this over with.
All right, you ready to get into this part? You heard what I said about the Buster is speaking out against the allegations on him?
Yeah, he's denying everything, of course.
Oh, of course.
Denying everything. But that's what they do. They deny everything until they get caught red-handed.
But
That's
I
what
think
they
with Sled being involved in this investigation, he might want to I don't know.
Well, again, this was so many years ago. He believes that there's nothing left to connect him. And the fact that other people have confessed to this crime or been implemented in this crime, it's
Right.
it's muddied the water enough for him to go for reasonable doubt.
Well, hopefully in this episode right here, I hope they talk more about the young man that supposedly confessed to the crime. I'm pretty sure they're gonna get into it, but I want to hear more about that. I do. Because that's weird. And it's weird that the stepfather, but you got to remember the connections. All the connections within. So, yeah. All right, y'all. So we're going to listen to this is part 6, y'all, of Who Killed Stephen Smith. All right, here we go. D-Trip, you can stop me at any time.
Okay.
But I do know that gross incompetence and the fear of coming forward have derailed this case for far too long. And as more time has passed, that incompetence and fear has turned into cruelty toward the Smith family. Now is the time to get angry, and it is well past time to get this case solved. My name is Mandy Matney. I have been investigating the Murdaugh family for more than 3.5 years now. This is the Murdaugh Murders Podcast with David Moses and Liz Farrell. Well, y'all, we did it. Last week, we dropped our first ever Cup of Justice bonus episode. And I don't know about y'all, but I thought it was a huge success. David, Liz, Eric, and I loved hearing all of the positive feedback in the last few days. And hooray, you still like us with the vocal fry, curse words, and unfiltered comments and all. I've said this before, but y'all are really the best fans a girl could ask for. So thank you for listening, and be sure to check out another bonus episode this weekend on the Murdaugh Murders podcast feed. And a special thanks to Eric Bland for joining us on this fun project. This week, we want to focus our efforts back to a cause that is so near and dear to our hearts: getting Stephen Smith's case solved. Now, we have accomplished a lot on this podcast, but solving Stephen Smith's death will always be my number one priority. I'll be honest, I will never feel settled until the Smith family gets answers, and I hope our listeners join us in this fight. For this episode, we caught up with Stephen's mother, the wonderful and resilient Sandy Smith, and Mike Hemlip, the Columbia attorney who stepped up to help after Sandy's previous attorney let her down. We asked Sandy and Mike where things in the case stand right now and how they felt about everything. While the case gained some momentum last year and SLED took over from the South Carolina Highway Patrol, it's now 15 months later, and we were hoping to know more by now. I'll have Sandy tell you where things stand from her perspective.
A little disappointed. I know an investigation takes time. I waited 6 years for something and got nothing. And now it's been reopened and it's been another year. And it's like deja vu, a phone call, or something to let me know that progress is being made. I don't like being in the dark. And I will fight until the day I die for Stephen. But I need somebody to let me know to build my hope up that we're working, we're close. We're not there yet, but we're close. You know what a mother would think if somebody called and told her that? I would be dancing in the streets if I heard something like that. But I hear nothing. And when I call SLED, it's not a cold case. Okay. Then what is it? I need to know what it is.
I have been thinking back to March 2019 a lot recently, when Liz and I met Sandy Smith for the first time. Back then, we were still learning about just how deeply protected the Murdaugh family was by law enforcement. We thought we understood it pretty well at the time, but looking back, maybe it was just naive of us to think in 2019 we could take on these good old boys without the spotlight we have today. The first meeting with Sandy was so difficult, not only because we were talking to a grieving mother who absolutely got steamrolled by law enforcement and utterly betrayed by her own community, but because we weren't sure where to start. There were so many more monsters in this case.
Okay, y'all, I don't think I told y'all that this particular episode was uploaded 3 months ago. So this is 3 months ago, okay, that she's speaking. Puppy, yeah. My daughter told me to be happy with my glam puppy. Oh, slaying. You're a glam mama, but you got a glam puppy. That's cute.
Than we could have possibly anticipated. This was not about finding out who killed Stephen or why they killed him. It was about identifying all of the people who might have played a role in making sure this case remained unsolved. I've gotten to know and love Sandy Smith over the past 3 years, and nothing made me happier than hearing how hopeful she sounded in June 2021 when SLED announced they were finally going to look into the case that she had been begging them to take for nearly 6 years at that point. In March 2019, Sandy seemed defeated, and for a good reason. She didn't know who to trust because everyone in a position to help her had let her down up until that point. The local newspaper, her neighbors.
Oh, Juicy Count just walked in. Who is talking? Oh, this is the podcast we've been listening to on this channel, Juicy. This her name is Sandy. She's narrating. We talking about Stephen Smith. We still talking about who killed Stephen Smith, boo. Hey, Juicy. Good morning, Juicy.
Local law enforcement, Nikki Haley, who was the governor at the time, Loretta Lynch, who was the U.S. attorney back then, and the FBI. Sandy wrote to the FBI on September 28, 2016, and the first line of her letter continues to break my heart and motivate me. She said, "My family is in desperate need of your help. Right now, it angers me that we're here in year 7 of Stephen's murder being unsolved, and yes, I'm saying murder and not hit and run.
Right.
I've said it before, it was never a hit and run, and anyone who says that is intentionally helping keep Stephen's case unsolved. For some reason, I keep seeing people on social media continue to take the position that Stephen might not have been murdered. Unless you've seen the photos from the crime scene, all of them, and unless you've read every single report and listened to the hours of interviews dozens of times, I do not want to hear it. I believe Stephen's death was a murder because officials never found a single piece of evidence on scene that showed he was killed by a vehicle. There were no...
The true question. The truth. Where's that picture?
Oh, sorry. I do got to run though. I'm sorry. Just
you got something?
Yeah, I got to run out.
Okay. Thank you for trying, though. Thank you for coming up.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right.
Welcome back, Nicole. But this is what I wanted to say, y'all. Like, I've watched a lot of oh, excuse me. Let me put my thing back up. Anybody want to come up on the panel? Y'all let me know. I dropped the link. So listen, I've watched a lot of crime shows, and I know y'all have too. Because if you in here listening to this, you probably a fan of the crime show. Hey! Too loud. Y'all wanna go back there with Papa? Okay, too loud. All right, so listen. So this is my question to y'all. Like in all the crime shows that we watch, and I know a lot of them are whatever. But I do watch like real cases, like 48 Hours and stuff like that. Usually, when somebody get hit by a car, it's some type of evidence. Like, first of all, like we stated when we first started listening to this, like the thing about a car and getting hit by a car, a lot of times it knocks your shoes off. It literally knocks your shoes off depending on how hard you get hit, right? But then it's sort of kind of always like some other kind of trace evidence, like maybe paint fragments, like a part of the car got damaged and fell on the ground. Some type of evidence that they find to indicate that the person was hit by a car. Hey Lily, thank you for joining, sweetie. Hey James. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've seen in most of the crime shows I watch. It's always a clue. Like when somebody get hit by a car, it's something left behind. You know what I'm saying? From them being impacted by that car. So that's what's weird. Like they're saying that there's no evidence of him being hit by a car. Okay, I just wanted to ask y'all that.
No tire marks, no mirror parts, no glass, no debris, no auto parts, nothing. And I will say this again, his loosely tied shoes were still on his feet. A telltale sign that he was not hit by a car.
Right.
I believe Stephen's death was a murder because of his injuries. His face was bashed in, as if someone had taken a baseball bat to half of his forehead. His arms were scraped up, maybe from defensive wounds. His right shoulder was dislocated, which could have happened if his body was moved. I believe Stephen's death was a murder because of the position of his body in the road and the blood patterns from the crime scene photos. It just doesn't look like he was killed at the spot he was found. And it's this simple. All of the evidence points to a homicide. And something more haunting that I have thought about over this last year, I wonder if someone laid his body in the middle of a dark country road on July 8th, 2015, like a piece of trash, and was hoping that Stephen would get hit by a car, making it much easier to convince a long line of officials that Stephen's death was not a murder. But Sandy Smith is no fool. She always called her son's death a murder.
I call it a murder, and they said that, well, we didn't call it a murder. It is a murder. I don't care what you call it.
Right.
I'm his mother. I know he was murdered. He was murdered. And whether you can come out and say that officially, I don't know. He was not hit by a car. He was murdered. He was beaten to death. And I've seen his pictures. And why? Why? What gave you the right to take my son from me?
That said, it especially angers me that Sandy still does not have answers. It angers me that she doesn't even have so much as an update from SLED or the Attorney General's office. Like I said, it is time to get
See
angry.
what you say, Slan. Slan said that's weird. Some people even lose their pants having road particles on them as well. I hate to say, yeah, Slan, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, some type of evidence. Because, see, the thing about a car, like, even though a car is like my daddy told us back when he was teaching us how to drive, a car could be a deadly weapon, just like a gun, just like a knife. A car could be a deadly weapon. And the thing about it is, like, even though a car hitting a person is much more, damaging to the person, the car suffers damages too. Like she said, broken glass, paint fragments, and the fact that there was no skid marks. There were no skid marks. See, normally, if a person hit somebody, at some point in time, even if it's too late, they see the person. They see the person that they're about to hit. And they'll try to, they'll put on brakes and try to stop or whatever. No skid marks in the road, no nothing. None of that. None of that. So it just is what it is. This is so sad for a mother to see those. Yeah, Scorpio, I couldn't imagine. Because the way they described it was like his, the one side of his face and head was like bashed in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's sad. Really sad.
For all of us to get angry and fight for Stephen. So obviously there have been no indictments in this case. According to the Attorney General's office, this means that no prosecutor has been assigned to the case yet, which of course raises questions on our end. One major question would be whether this also means that investigators don't have a steady liaison at the AG's office for this case. That communication between prosecutors and law enforcement is critical in building a successful case. At this point, it's not clear whether Stephen's case is actually part of the litany of Murdaugh cases. It's also not clear whether the case will be handled by the state grand jury or the Hampton County grand jury, or both. Who knows what kind of charges we'll see come out of this investigation? Like Mandy said, while we were beyond happy last year to hear that SLED was taking over the case, a case they should have taken over in 2015, frankly, we're now beyond disappointed at the slow going. On Tuesday, SLED spokesperson Renee Wunderlich told us that, quote, SLED continues to make progress in the death investigation of Stephen Smith. The investigation is active and ongoing. We asked Sandy Smith if she believes that SLED and the AG's office have been prioritizing Stephen's case.
Well, honestly, it's being shoved to the side again. My honest opinion, because they've really given me no hope. I mean, they have not showed me anything. And I know that they can't tell me a lot, but just telling me it's not a cold case is not what I want to hear. There's a bunch of cold cases out there, but I need to know that somebody is actually working this case. Give me the results of the evidence that they had, give me confidence that you did the rape kit test and you tested all his DNA and said we're close. That's all you got to tell me is I'm close to getting answers for Stephen. That's all I want is answers for my son. He was my world, and that's all I want. I want justice for my son. And like any mother, any parent would want, it's not just me. There's a bunch of several cold cases out there that people act like they don't care because he was a 19-year-old poor boy putting himself through college, through grants, but he worked for it, and he deserved to live that, but they didn't allow him to. Whoever it may be, did not allow him to live his dreams. And that's what breaks my heart.
For too many years, the Smith family has been let down by the state of South Carolina. Because of that, and because, through no fault of their own, they were unceremoniously dropped right in the middle of what has been unbelievable chaos brought on by whatever Alec Murdaugh may or may not have done on June 7th, 2021. They deserve better service from law enforcement now. It is the least those in power can do. I should mention that there are a lot of victims and grieving families in South Carolina who deserve better service from law enforcement. As journalists in this state, Mandy and I are both accustomed to hearing from people who have been flat out ignored or have had their cases botched by investigators who don't hesitate to take a bow for carrying a badge, but can't be bothered to do a simple check-in with families to say, hey, we can't go into details about the investigation, but I just want to touch base and let you know we're still working on your son's case. So as Sandy told us on Monday night, it's unfortunate.
What you say, Lily? I've been working so much, I don't know what's going on. Can I get a quick summary? I just know about. Oh, you just know about the Mississippi case. So Lily, I don't know. Okay, let me see if I can sum it up real quick. Okay, so you know about the Murdaugh. You know about Alec Murdaugh, who was recently convicted for killing his wife and son, right? All right. So this Stephen Smith guy is a young man who many hasn't been proven yet, no charges yet. So I will say that, but allegedly, Buster Murdaugh, one of the surviving son of Alan Murdaugh, supposedly, allegedly had something to do with his death. Okay. Um. So far, we've just heard about rumors and things of that nature. At first, they ruled it a hit and run accident. Then they switched it over to a murder investigation. And the reason why we're reviewing this is because I got this series going on, as you can see, the Murdaugh family scandals, and this is one of the scandals. Because if you know anything about the Murdaughs, there were several deaths related to them. It was this young man, Stephen. It was what was her name? Mallory. Was it Mallory, y'all? Mallory Beach, the young woman that was in the car boating accident, the boating accident, and then there was the housekeeper. Okay, so right now we're looking into Stephen's death and what evidence or whatever they got as far as Stephen's death. So if you got any questions, Lily, just ask me and I'll try to answer. Hold on, y'all.
Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I heard you say hold on. I heard you say nothing else. Truth.
You're welcome, Lily. Just ask me questions if you get lost, sweetie. What I done put, child, it is not the freaking weekend yet. How did I get that up there? Hold on, y'all.
You started early.
Why? I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, Trey. I thought I sent you the link. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
I had to catch 4 Ubers in a wheelchair to get here, but I'm here.
You know what? You're too dramatic. Too damn dramatic. Okay. So have you been listening, Trey?
I did not know you was live until like 4 minutes ago, but I did start hearing where the ladies talking about Stephen and they deserve better from the South Carolina Police Department.
Yeah, because you know it went years with the so-called state troopers handling the case, and then they got happy when SLED took up the case. And then what they're talking about now is the fact that SLED, now this was dropped 3 months ago. They're talking about the fact that even though SLED has gotten the case, it's still no progress on the case. So I'm hoping they'll go back into when we left off the last time when they was looking into the other young man who so-called confessed or whatever. That's what I'm really waiting to hear. But another thing that I talked about at the beginning that you probably didn't hear was that Buster Murdoch is finally speaking on Stephen Smith's death. He's denying everything, but he's finally broke his silence, and hopefully we'll get into that after we listen to this right here. So that's why I'm not doing a whole lot of talking, because I really want to get through this part right here. But yeah, that's where we at. How old is the case? Stephen's been gone since, oh my God, 2015 or 16, Lily. This was one of the first deaths that happened involving this family. Stephen was the first one, and then there was, I think after Stephen it was the young lady, and then the housekeeper, I think. But yeah, Stephen's been passed for like 6 or 7 years. That's how long he's been gone. But these podcasts and these this lady right here, she's got this channel, Murder on Murders podcast. She keeps up 2015, McKay, probably so. Yeah, she keeps up with the progress of each case. And like I said, y'all make sure y'all continue to drop the link to this channel, Murder on Murders podcast. And Lily, if you're interested and you want to catch up, if you go to this channel, you'll see all type of videos on this case where you can catch up. All right, y'all. Trey, you want to say anything before I continue to play the video?
Nope, go ahead.
Okay. Is there a No, Miss Ann, there's no statute of limitation on murder. Because, they first ruled it hit and run there. But then when Sled got the case, they upgraded it to murder. They are calling it a murder. So there's no statute of limitation on murder. So you can commit a crime in your 20s, and they can get some new evidence when you about 40 or 50, and they still able to charge you with murder. Yeah, there's no statute of limitation on murder. All right, here we go, y'all.
Looking like deja vu here. The hope Mandy heard in her voice in June 2021 has faded steadily as each week passes, seemingly no closer to justice. From 2015 to 2021, the fate of Stephen's case seemed to be
You're right, McKay. You're right. McKay, it was 2015.
Controlled by politics. And it seems like that hasn't changed one bit, except the reasons. Those may be different. According to several sources close to the situation, the answers as to who killed Stephen and who might have helped keep this case from getting solved for so long, and why, are right there. The answers are so close, and we believe those answers reside with law enforcement right now. It's as if the answers are on the tips of law enforcement's tongue, meaning we have good reason to believe that law enforcement knows what happened, but something is holding them up on the road to an indictment. If that something is political or about egos and people being territorial, if that something is because investigators are being met with a lack of cooperation, or worse, a lack of bravery and honesty from the long list of law enforcement officers named in Stephen's original case file who, in our humble opinion, all should have already been subpoenaed, and we hope that's the case. If that something is because law enforcement is hesitant to go up against those who did not do their jobs in 2015 simply because they carry a badge, well, all of that is unacceptable. We have faith that SLED can and will deliver answers in this case, whether or not the Murdochs were involved, and again, we just don't know what, if any, role they have in this beyond the more than 40 times a Murdoch was mentioned in the investigation.
They said, okay, thanks, I'll check it out after your live, and I like when you come. Thank you, Lily. I appreciate it, girl. It's yeah, it's hard to let me say something. I'm gonna take a little break, okay? Let me say something. When you come on YouTube, that's why when I talk to Raina and I talk to Cam and I talk to Trailer, it's a lot of sippers that got channels or thinking about starting channels. And when I speak to them about starting their channels and the commentary and stuff on their channels, I talk to them the same way I talk to my daughters, especially when it comes to Cam and Raina, right? Even though I know Raina is a little older than Cam, but I still see Raina as a little sis. I see Raina as a little sister, and I see Cam as like a daughter. And as far as Trey Love, I see her more like a sister too. But listen, when I talk to people about their channels and them trying to succeed, their channels succeeding, I talk to them and I voice to them my mistakes that I feel like I made when it comes to my YouTube. Same way I talk to my daughters about life. When I talk to my daughters about life, I'm very candid with my daughters. I'm very candid with my daughters, and I speak to my daughters about mistakes that I've made in life that I don't want them to repeat in life. Right? That's we all do that as mothers, right? When we talk to our kids and we're trying to encourage them and motivate them, you talk to them and especially if you see them making some of the same mistakes that you've made, you tend to want to, even though everybody has to learn the hard way, everybody has to learn their lessons, sometimes you just never know. You talking to a person about something could make them think about it and not go in that direction, right? So with that being said, when I talk to these content creators like Raina and even Slay, Goddess, Raina, um, Cam, Trey Love, hey man, Monica, looks like Can't Handle the Truth got something going with her channel. Um, Everybody over here that's doing something on their channels, right? I try to express to them. That's why I talk about the mistakes that I've made when it comes to YouTube. I've made mistakes when it comes to YouTube, okay? I fully admit that. I fully embrace that. I fully take ownership of it. I've done some commentary, right? I've done commentary on my YouTube channel. This channel right here. This channel right here, my main channel. I've done commentary on this channel that I am not proud of. Most of it is private, because not because I'm trying to hide anything, because y'all know that somebody recorded each and every one of our lives or whatever. It's not that I'm trying to hide anything. It's I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. So no, I don't want to still up there. I don't want it to be able to make money, because you can make money off of old videos if people are talking about them and then y'all go back and view them. That's making you make money off of them. I don't want to make no more money off of that commentary. I don't, because I'm not proud of it, right? So when I talk to these young, people who starting their channels, I say, listen, the way you start your channel off, the way you come on, the way your channel is once you get monetized, you guys to make sure that it's the commentary that you want to bring for the long haul, because when you try to switch up, it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard. You can lose support. You can lose subscribers. Like if you come on doing drama, it's like in order to keep your support or the people that subscribe because of the drama, if you choose not to do the drama anymore, you're gonna lose that support, right? You're gonna lose that support. If you come on doing celebrity news, whatever you come on doing, and you do it so consistently that you get your fan base from it, you got to stick to it. Now, of course, you can do other things. You can venture off and do other things, but it's just that you take a risk of losing that support that you got when you first came on. So, like when I be telling Raina and telling Cam, I like what y'all are doing on y'all channel because it's not drama based. It's not the roasting. It's not the dragging. It's not that. That's why when I tell them I'm so proud of their channels, I mean that, because I know how I came on with my channel, right? And I know once I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, then my channel suffered. It suffered, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Like I tell people, I done started over 2 or 3 times in my life. Like honestly, and one of the biggest times I started over when I decided to leave my ex-husband. So I know about starting over. I embrace it. It's a challenge for me. I like challenges. Okay. So I said all of to say this, with this channel right here and this commentary that I'm trying to bring to this channel, I'm gonna stick to it, because for those that don't know, because I did it like way back when, I dedicated this channel right here to the memory of my son. Okay, so when I did that, I still was kind of doing the reacting to the T channels and da 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 da. So then one day I thought about it. It hit me. If I dedicated this channel to my son, I wanted to be the crime and justice. I wanted to be the true crime and justice. So that's when I buckled down and I said, okay, that's it. That's it. I'm only doing crime and justice on this channel. That's it. That's it. That's it. Right. But as you all can see, it's a slow process. It's a slow roll because people are used to me doing what I do on the T channel, which is cool because that's a part of me as well. But as far as this what I'm doing here now, it's gonna be a slow process. But I'm down for it. I'm here for it. Once I set my mind to something, I stick to it. I stick to it. I get discouraged, but I taught myself. Well, my therapist helped me and my parents helped me, but I taught myself sometimes. Even though you appreciate motivation from others, you got to motivate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to motivate yourself. And so, with that being said, as far as this channel and what I bring to this channel, I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it. If I can go over on that other channel and do all that other mess, I can stick to this and I can keep pushing until I get to where I want to be on this channel. And thank you so much to you all that come over and support this channel and say, "Truth, I like this content. I like this content. I support this content." That makes me feel good, and it also gives me hope. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know when I go live on this channel, y'all see the numbers. And y'all know all over YouTube is other dramas going on. And people rather watch the drama. I get it. But that's not going to deter me from doing what I need to do over here. Because, there's a such thing as replays and da-da-da-da-da. I know eventually somebody will come over here and watch it. But, yeah, I just said all that to say thank you. Thank you for those that support this channel. I honestly appreciate it. Lily said, I know I've been in the bushes for a long time watching behind the scenes because I used to be on my man account until I got my own. He does music, so I don't want no one thinking that. Oh, okay. I get it, Lily. I get it. Why? Thank you, James. Hey, C6. How you doing? Is Melissa? Did I miss Melissa? Hey, Melissa. Thank you, Scorpio. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. All right, I'm through with that. Let's get back to the commentary. I support this in the gospel. Oh, yeah, you do, Lily. And I'm coming back with that, Lily. I got to get focused. I got to stay focused. It's a lot to try to do content on all three of these channels. But like I say, I got to get back to that. I got to get back to that because that's my Woosah channel. That's my Woosah girl. So thank you, Lily, for supporting the music channel as well, sweetie. I appreciate that. Tamara said, no, thank you, true, because I will support. Thank you, Tamara. Hey, Melissa. I didn't see you come in, Melissa. All right, y'all, let's listen. Let's see what's going on with these people. Hey, boys. Hey. What Papa? What Papa?
He's trying to whoop us.
He's trying to whoop you?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, what you do? What did you do?
We just run faster, and he trying to catch us.
You got away?
I got away.
Oh, okay, then.
And we just got away.
Okay, well, you better stop before I call him up here now. I'm going to tell him where you're hiding at. All right, y'all, here we go. Oh, thank you. Who is this? Let me see. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you. Love you too, Nikki. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Thank you, sweetie. All right, y'all, here we go.
We still believe that the killing of Stephen Smith is solvable and has been all along. But right now, it seems like it's going to require a hero from the inside who is willing to fight even harder for what's right. So it has been a long time since we've done a full episode on Stephen Smith. It was actually December when we last took a deep dive into the case. Even though our previous episodes about this case were filled with information straight out of the case files, there is still a lot more that we need to talk about. Every time we look through these files, we find...
Hey, Trey Love. Hey, Boo. Hey, Venus. Oh, you still on? I just missed the beginning. It started from beginning. Yeah, I noticed that when you go into a live that's already started, it'll take you back to the beginning instead of... Yeah, thank you, Trey Love, for joining. I appreciate it. And I told you, E-Books, quit talking about how cute they are. Oh, you talking about their accents now? You talking about my baby's accents? Oh, you was on my other live. Girl, ignore that, Trey. I had to get it off my chest, girl. And I told you, E-Books, you're going to look up and they're going to be right there in the D with you. Keep it up.
new information, and many times old information hits differently because of other things we've learned since the time we last looked at our notes. There are so many strange coincidences and weird circumstances in this case that we think need to be accounted for. I'll give you a quick rundown.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you for supporting. I appreciate it, sweeties. Thank you so much. Stan said he sounds so cute. Girl, they all sound cute. They so cute when they be asleep. I just love them to death, good. But then they wake up.
We can talk more about what all of this might mean and what is next for Sandy and Mike. The first issue is one of the most talked about pieces of evidence in this case, the rape kit. If authorities initially believed Stephen's death was
y'all listen to what she about to get into, because y'all might have forgot, because it was episodes back when they talked about it. If they felt like be safe, Trey, be safe. If they felt like, and I'm glad they true that, because I want him to chime in on this part right here. I want them to chime in. Him to chime in. The true. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know what the clown doing.
Oh, ain't no telling, child. I'll talk to him when he chime in. Chime in when you can. I got a question for you. This
Okay,
is the thing, y'all.
I'm here.
Okay, listen, you came back just in time. Listen, everything all right?
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just waiting for another phone call.
Okay, so listen. So if they initially thought this guy was the victim of a hit and run, why did they do a rape kit?
No,
remember
that I was just thinking about this, and that's what's funny. I was just thinking about this, and I was actually coming to pop on. I probably got about a half hour, but
okay.
Initially, this was not a hit and run. This was a homicide. Remember, they thought he had been shot in the head with a shotgun, or shot in the head at least.
That's how bad the injuries was.
In order for them to believe that he was shot in the head, the back of his head either had to be bashed in to where they thought it was a hole, and then the gash in the front of his head would have been the exit wound.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, in the very beginning, they said they believed he had been shot.
Right.
And then later, after the autopsy, there was no, they saw no bullet entry and exit. They thought that he had been, then that's when they changed it. Because remember, the coroner said, "Why are you here? This is an automobile accident."
Right.
They assumed it was a murder because in the beginning, they thought this was going to be a homicide investigation. Now, because they switched it from a homicide to a vehicular accident, I'll guarantee that they didn't search his car for any DNA evidence. His car.
Right.
And then the other thing, the reason the rape kit was there, because they thought, remember, they had his cell phone too.
Mm-hmm.
And there was
see, that's another thing. That was another frustration, because they took so long to actually get the cell phone, to go through the cell phone. Wasn't that covered on the last episode? How long it took them to actually go through the cell phone or get into the cell phone?
Well, no, I believe they had it, and that's when they said that he had lived a high risk lifestyle, meaning Grinder or whatever, or text messages that they saw on there. They said he was in a high risk category, as they said.
Right.
But like I'm saying, I'll guarantee. But again, we're talking about 2015. They reopened it back in 2021 or 2018. Still 3 years has passed. Now another 5 years has passed. So because they switched it to a vehicle incident, they're not going to check his car, because if his name kept coming up, they needed to establish that he even knew him.
And you know what though? The truth. Even though his name kept coming up, They never put the name in the report.
Yes, but if his name kept coming up to uh they would have to link him to him somehow, whether a text message, whether it be DNA in his car, whatever. They needed
Mm-hmm.
to link him to this kid because he's acting as if he don't even know that kid.
He don't even know him. Hey, candy corn. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. But the rape kit was done because they thought he was executed,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the text messages, they're thinking that somebody might have did something to him. I just think they wanted to figure out who he was with, you know, and if they
And to
could
me,
get.
honestly, that phone should have been some type of clue. The phone, like the phone records or whatever, should have been some type of clue.
Yeah, but I don't think it was Murdoch. Or again, Murdoch could have a burner phone,
Uh huh. Uh huh.
and they just didn't know who was on the other end of that line. They're just going by the text messages
Mm-hmm.
that something was, a little, you know, funny going on. But
Right.
the rape kit was because this was a homicide, and there had to be some indications that maybe something funny was going on. Maybe the text messages pointed in that direction of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
putting a rape kit on them because, you know, male rape kits are not, you know, the
They
norm.
don't usually like go there with
Yeah,
males.
yeah, it's not the norm for
Right.
a male rape kit to be even even presented in the case is
Right.
funny anyway. I mean, females, especially murder victims, that's automatic. But I
Yeah.
guess because of the cell phone and the rumors they were hearing, they went ahead and did a rape kit on him
Yeah.
because I believe they knew that this all the whole time this was a bat that did this.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they knew the entire time, but they wanted to draw the investigation away from the homicide to keep other
Of
people's eyes
course.
out of it.
And to be honest, I'm gonna be honest. If one of the Murdoch boys was involved, because I tend to think it was Buster. Trey and Flexi tend to think it was Paul. Okay. Who do you think Paul or Buster? The truth.
No, I believe it was Buster. I believe it
Okay,
was
so me
Buster.
and you think Buster, they think Paul, but either way, I think that if either one of them was involved, of course, the grandpa Paul and the Paul probably had a lot to do with paying off people and paying this person off, paying that person off. But with him being locked up for life, okay, this is what I'm gonna ask you. With the pop with Alec being locked up for life, do you think if people were afraid to speak or were being paid off not to speak, do you think now they should get some leeway in the case?
Well, the thing about payoffs is payoffs are usually not one lump sum.
Hi, Slay.
Payoffs are usually a continuous thing in order to keep your silence.
Right.
So now the other thing I'm thinking about is now maybe could have been could have been Paul he was messing with and Buster found out and did it himself,
Mm.
or could have been Paul found out about him and Buster, and Paul
And
took him
he
out.
was angry about it.
Yeah, so there's a couple of angles they can go to, but they don't put Paul at the scene. They put Buster at the scene.
Right.
Everyone that's gone to the mother or any family member has always said Buster was there, and
Uh
then
huh.
now all of a sudden, you know, Buster trying to say somebody else did it. Now somebody else came in and said, "Yeah, Paul didn't hit him. Somebody else hit him." So it, the more stories you can get out there, the more reasonable doubt you could throw out there. So
That's
whoever
true.
the second person that they said, nope, he hit him, not me. I was just there. Whoever flips first gets the best deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now
Mm-hmm.
you say, no, I got nothing to do with this. I didn't have anything to do with it. So, him coming out and saying that again, this is 2015, 8 years later.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yeah.
hoping that whatever DNA they got, whatever, I mean, I'll guarantee that they can't find his clothes.
Talking about using my Paul's clothes.
No, Steven's
Oh,
clothes.
I don't know why I said Paul. I meant Stephen. Lord
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'll guarantee, because if there's this
They
much,
should be in evidence though, if you ask
okay,
me.
but how much we've already talked about how much cover up is going on. We've already
Right.
talked about how many people are involved, that the Murdoch name keeps getting dropped from any sort of investigation. So you can almost guarantee that Steven's clothing
Mm-hmm.
is not going to be found.
I tend to agree with you on that one. I tend to agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Also, I'll guarantee that nobody searched for Buster's car.
Oh no. Mm-mm. Because Buster ain't even been listed as a person of interest. Well,
Nope.
at this time, a person of interest, a suspect. His name keep getting mentioned, yet they're not putting it in the reports. So why would they search his car? And I can guarantee that car is, baby, that car out of here.
That car is in the bottom of a lake somewhere.
It's out of here.
Yep,
I'm
that
just
car,
saying.
you can guarantee they said, the mother said he sold that car
Yes.
immediately, and whoever he sold that car to, they're gonna come back now and go, where's that car? I don't know. I sold that car. I don't know. That car, I don't know. He sold it to somebody else. I'll guarantee that car has been sold 5 times and is now sitting at the bottom of a lake.
It's just gone. It's out of here. Hi, Miss Marjorie. I just fell at work, slipped on the pee. Oh, Miss Marjorie, you okay?
Miss Margie, do you need to retain me?
Miss Marjorie, you need to retain the truth.
We're gonna sue. That
I need
plastic
you to
shit.
be all right, Miss Marjorie.
That
Oh,
plastic did
Lord.
not need. That plastic was not supposed to be there. Did you?
Good Lord, Miss Marjorie.
Is there a camera?
I'm sure it is. You know, they got cameras everywhere, Chad.
If there's a camera, I need you to go back to the camera, get dizzy, and fall down again.
Don't do that. You know what? I can't win with you and Trey. I just can't win for losing.
Trey, you agree that she
Miss
needs to
Margie,
go?
let us know you okay, Miss Margie. She laughing, so I'm hoping she okay. She laughing in the message.
Right,
Oh
Trey?
gosh.
We need her to go back to wherever a camera is and put her hand on her head and throw her hand up in the air.
Oh
and
gosh.
make it look like she's saying "whoa" and get on and just fall dizzily to the ground. And then hold the back of your head, whatever you
You
got to
better
do.
be glad Miss Margie laughing. Oh, I be mad at you.
I'm trying to get her paid. What are you talking about? I'm trying to get her paid. Look, when I go into stores like Walmart, Target or any of them, I don't look. I look down at the ground because I'm looking for a wet spot.
So you're not looking for a wet spot.
I'm looking for a wet spot, and I don't give a damn if you got one of them damn signs out in English and Spanish. All you gonna hear is
I cannot.
woo!
And make sure you holler loud enough so somebody can hear you and come running to you.
You'll hear me 5 aisles down. Woo!
I can't, y'all. When my mom can say, Marge, I hope you're doing good, and remember, I'm your best cousin when you say, y'all crazy. What am I gonna do with y'all?
Marge, Miss Marge, you don't need that job. You about to get paid. Make sure you take a picture.
Man, Marge, you better type in this chat and let me know you all right, man, Margie. She said I want to go home.
Put your hand on your hip.
Oh shit! Oh,
and take a picture.
Dangling, Dingling knows a good personal injury attorney, Miss Marge.
Oh God. Well, D True trying to take the case.
I'm trying to take the case.
Yeah, D True want the case.
33%. 33%.
Mm-hmm. But
33% of
Margie
a
said she
million.
just want to go home.
I get you home, time off, and paid everything
Oh
at the
Lord.
same time. They'll be paying you to
Oh,
stay home.
oh Jesus. Poor me, Margie. Me Margie probably was trying to listen to this live. She should have been paying attention. Me Margie.
Call Ben Crump, Miss Marge.
All right, y'all. Let's listen. I want to hear about this rape kit. Here we go, y'all.
Case, the rape kit. If authorities initially believed Stephen's death was a hit and run, why did they decide to conduct a rape kit? It is bizarre. Highway patrolmen are in charge of the state's road safety. Their specialty is giving out tickets and getting drunk drivers off the road and investigating car accidents. How often are these guys getting rape kits as a part of hit and run investigations? And what does this mean about how investigators were seeing this case at the time? Who called for a rape kit? In the case files, a chain of custody report starts with, quote, Hampton coroner, quote, and that's literally what it says. The form lists the position, not the name of the person who transferred the rape kit from MUSC to Todd Proctor of the Highway Patrol on July 22nd, 2015, a full 2 weeks after Stephen Smith's death. As y'all probably know, chain of custody reports are really critical in successfully prosecuting cases. They exist to ensure the integrity of the evidence.
Y'all, give me 1 minute. Did you try to entertain the crowd? Money Boy Trey, give me a minute.
Let's remember something. In the first episode, or it was the first or second episode, she said that his clothes were in a brown paper bag,
just sitting for hours.
Just sitting for out in the open for hours. Nobody signed for it. It was just sitting there, which means those clothes are inadmissible.
That's probably why didn't nobody want to put their name on their report. There's a whole bunch of fuck shit going on already.
Exactly. The clothes were just sitting there out in front of it. So you could just imagine, I'll guarantee they can't find that rape kit either. But what she said was the highway patrol would not be ordering a rape kit. But what she forgets is this was not a car accident. This was a homicide to begin with. So if they switch it to a vehicle accident, and then somebody comes back 2 weeks later and says, do a rape kit. I mean, let's think this man been dead for 2 weeks now. And he's been in cold storage. You know, usually a rape kit is done immediately. But I'm thinking they asked for the rape kit after they finally started to examine his phone. Does that make sense, Trey?
What was in his phone that would make them order a rape kit?
Okay, one of the investigators said that when they looked at his phone, he was a high risk, meaning he was promiscuous, that he had a lot of phone conversations in his phone that make them believe that he was doing certain things. That's why they called him high risk. That anyone could have been out to get him. And he said that he was a high risk, meaning that there was probably multiple people that they could look at. That he was high risk, so he may have been meeting people, meaning hooking up with many different people.
Okay, what you been saying, D True? What you saying now? I'm listening now.
What I was saying was, usually a rape kit is an immediate thing, not
Mm-hmm.
not 2 weeks later.
Exactly.
It was a homicide, and me and Trey were talking about his clothes were left out in the open. She said that in one of the beginning videos that
Uh-huh.
the chain of custody on his clothes had been broken, that it had
Mhm.
just been laying out in the coroner's office, and
Mhm.
no one had tagged it for chain of custody. It hadn't been sealed, just sitting in a brown paper bag.
He was 25, Melissa. He was 25.
So I was talking about those text messages, and
Mhm.
the investigator had said he was high risk.
Mhm.
So when someone puts a label like high risk and they're talking about a cell phone, that means there's conversations in there that make them believe that they were doing certain things that would put their life in jeopardy, like
Mhm.
hooking up with strangers or
Mhm.
meeting a number of different people. That means there's many people that could be looked at
Mhm.
in a homicide, especially when people are meeting people on the sly.
And meeting people that they meet online, meeting up with people that they meet online,
So
or meeting up with, men that are on the down low. That's risky. All of that. But the thing about Steven was he was openly gay. I do know that. They spoke about he was being openly gay. So the high risk behavior that you think that he may have been participating in is maybe hooking up with people, via the internet.
it could be, or that may have been them
Hooking up with
throwing.
powerful people, people with names who would want to keep that a secret.
Well,
Well,
that
yeah.
too, but it would also could be them throwing that in there
Mm-hmm.
to bring doubt, to
Mm.
bring cloud into it. Meaning, I'm going to say this so that I've conformed reasonable doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And the investigators said, well, we saw a lot of text messages in there. He was hooking up with. Now they don't say any names, of course, and they just say high risk.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
now,
listen,
go ahead.
we can't say how many actual openly gay men. We do know it was a small town, and you know how things go with these small towns. I mean, I ain't gonna even try to guess. Don't nobody don't know. Cause see, they say Buster was down low. You know what I'm saying? So you just
That was
child.
that was one rumor.
Mm-hmm.
The other rumor was is that they attacked him because he was gay.
Uh-huh.
So if they attacked him because he was gay, and it was Buster and them that attacked him, who was
Then
the
that mean
high?
they were homophobic. They had a thing with gay people.
Yes, but who was the high profile person that he told their family about if it wasn't Buster?
He did say that he was involved with a high profile person in that town. He said that.
Yes, a high ranking family in that town.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
if Buster beat him up and killed him because he was gay, who's the person that he was involved with?
It's just too much. Just too much. And to be honest, I really hope and pray, even if it wasn't Buster, whoever it was, I just wish they would, investigate this thing right and get some closure for Steven's mom. Y'all, if y'all go and watch this video on the channel and get the visuals of his mom, she look like she's a sweet person. She sounds like she's just still hurting because there's no closure. There's no closure. And for her son to pass the way that he did, that's probably so excruciating for her. Like to know that her son was literally, because he was beat to death. He was beat to death. He was not hit by no car. He was beat to death. He was bashed over the head. Period.
And the fact that he was beat so bad that they believed he had been
He was
shot
shot. Hmm.
tells me that I mean you could tell. I mean, like I said, I've seen many crime scene photos, been involved in things. You could tell a gunshot versus a beating.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And I would think that police and others, as far as law enforcement, should be able to tell. So it had to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
Hey, Champs girl.
it
Yeah,
had
he
to
was
be bad,
Champs
really
girl. He was
bad.
gay. He was openly gay. He was openly gay. Yes, yes. It had to be. It had to be. It had to be bad, right? The true.
It had to be severe in order for
And
them
the
to
mama
think,
said she saw the pictures.
because
Yeah, she
I
said.
I I believe that 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 the gash in the front of his head, they
Mm-hmm.
believed was the entrance wound, and
Right.
then the back of his head was the exit, which is going to be much larger than the entrance.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To believe that that is an exit wound means that he was, you know, he was hit quite a few times.
Yeah. And the whole theory is he was pretty much beat in the head with a baseball bat, and it's got to be. Oh my
And they
gosh.
did and they did find particles of blue paint.
Mm.
So
Mm-mm-mm.
that baseball bat's at the bottom of the lake also, or the river.
Oh, that baseball bat is gone. That baseball bat probably was gone the same day it happened.
Oh yeah, it's at the bottom of the river. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
With bricks attached to it.
Oh yeah. All right, y'all. Let's listen to some more. Oh my gosh.
And they have to be filled out thoroughly and clearly, and every transfer has to be accounted for, or else the case is put at risk. In the chain of custody, it says the transfer of this mysterious rape kit was made from Todd Proctor to LL Heydrich. Now here's where it gets even more weird. The rape kit trail stops with LL Heydrich, who is Laura Lynn Heydrich. As sleuths online first pointed out, she apparently left the highway patrol not long after Stephen's death, and at some point ended up working at Yemassee Police Department. Yemassee Police Department is run by Gregory Alexander. You might remember him. He is a close friend of Alec Murdoch. Alec paid him $5,000.
All right. I gotta go back because I didn't hear a name. I didn't hear the name of the person that said. Okay. Here we go, y'all.
Trail stops with LL Heydrich, who
Okay.
is Laura Lynn Heydrich. As sleuths online first pointed out, she apparently left the highway patrol not long after Stephen's death, and at some point ended up working at Yemassee Police Department. Yemassee Police Department is run by Gregory Alexander. You might remember him. He is a close friend of Alec Murdoch. Alec paid him $5,000 a few weeks after the murders. He was running for Hampton County Sheriff, and he lost. But you might remember this quote about a cat. And I ain't no cat. I don't try to cover no doo-doo up, nothing up. Even weirder than that, in 2016, Laura Lynn Heydrich was sued in Dorchester County by Midland Funding LLC, a credit company. But don't worry, she had a defense attorney helping her, Alec Murdoch. So Heydrich...
Oh, if everybody don't know everybody in this damn town, everything leads back to these people.
So she was offered a job shortly
Yes.
after the murders.
Yes.
Now, I would love to see, is that rape kit even in evidence anymore?
Exactly.
The the
Exactly the truth.
the other thing is, she could have did anything to that rape kit, meaning switch the DNA to anyone she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
She could have put water in the DNA, which would dilute it so much that they couldn't figure out whose DNA is. Or she just may never had passed it up the chain because it stops with her. It doesn't say that it went to the state's lab because that's where it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
It stops with her. She's supposed to bring it and bring it to be examined. This is 2015. This isn't 1995 when they don't have DNA or anything else. This is 2015. It was supposed to be turned over to the state's lab to be processed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Baby.
because she left and never turned it over to anyone else, it well again it should have been locked up. If it didn't go to the state's evidence, it should have been locked up into evidence,
Mm-hmm.
which means the person that's in charge of the evidence locker signs for it. And the thing about the evidence locker, even if say one cop is doing the evidence locker and 2 or 3 years later he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
the next man has to do an inventory and then sign for whatever in that evidence locker.
Mm-hmm.
So he just doesn't get to walk away and whatever disappeared. No, the next person has to do an inventory
Mm-hmm.
of what's in that locker and he takes possession of everything in that locker.
Miss K says so. Not only was the family corrupt, but the whole damn town was corrupt. Well, I mean, the thing about it is, like, the family, was paying people off and things of that nature. So I guess if the family was corrupt by paying the people was corrupt. It was just a lot of, paying people off and things of that nature. Hey, 6ix9ine. And things of that nature. So I guess you can say the whole damn town is corrupt. It just behooves me how everybody in that town got some type of tie to the Murdoch family. It's like, it's amazing. Either they represented them in some, or it's just amazing.
Well,
What's the
according,
population, the true? Can you
I,
look that up?
what was the name of the town again?
Oh,
Hampton.
Hampton County?
Yeah, Hampton County.
Tag on. Weird.
Again, Gregory Alexander's employee and Alec Murdoch's client is where this mysterious rape kit's journey ends on August 11th, 2015. According to the form, she moved the evidence from Highway Patrol Troop 6A to the Highway Patrol's Central Evidence Facility. I want to pause here and tell you a little more about this form. Under the deposition of items part of it, the from and the to part of the form, there are 10 fields filled out, 9 of them in the same pen and handwriting. The only one that contains different handwriting using a different pen is the one in which L.L. Heydrich acknowledges receiving the rape kit. So think about this for a second. Someone using the same pen and handwriting appears to have filled out 9 other fields, including the 2 fields with the transfer dates, which are about 3 weeks apart. Does that mean that the same person who filled this out on July 22nd, 2015 came back with the same pen and did it again on August 11th, 2015? Or does it mean that 9 fields were filled out retroactively?
Wow.
Is that why it says Hampton Coroner? Is that why the coroner's name isn't signed in the initial custody field? If this was filled out retroactively, why? And most importantly, where is the rape kit now? Why didn't SLED take it with them initially? SLED was in charge of collecting evidence in the case. SLED is the primary lab that is used to test rape kits in this state. Why would this be taken to the Highway Patrol storage facility by a woman who was later Alec Murdoch's client and Gregory Alexander's employee? Previously, Sandy has told us several times that officials have told her that this rape kit was missing, and there was virtually no follow-up about it. And the case files say that as well. I should also mention that in the autopsy report, it doesn't specifically state that a rape kit was done, but it mentions that Deputy Coroner Kelly Green was given rectal, oral, and penis swabs for each at the autopsy. Green was in charge of the evidence in the case. Remember that. And we'll be right back.
Wow.
Okay, so the population as of 2021.
Go ahead.
The population as of 2021 is 18,180.
That is nothing.
Yeah. So Beaufort, South Carolina, the population as of 2021 was 12,060.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to say, okay, I can go back to 2015. So 2015, the population was 19,969. So
Oh,
there was
wow.
actually more people living in 2015 there than in 2021.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. See, that's what I'm saying. That's nothing for a population. Like, no wonder everybody know everybody. You know it. And then, you guys to remember that the family runs the largest, and that's what they said at the beginning of the series, the largest law firm in the county. So,
Okay,
all right.
as of 2021, the average the household household income of Hampton County household was $38,298.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2015, remember, she said it was $32,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can guarantee that most of these people
If offer some bribe money, they gonna take
is going to
it.
take it. All
They
right.
gonna take
Sorry, Truth, I got to
it.
take off again.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for coming back, D Truth. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Have a good day.
All right. Stay safe. All right, y'all. We just got a few more minutes left. Okay, we're gonna get through. We're gonna get through this today because I want to do something else tomorrow. Okay, so we can kind of get into the whole trial, y'all. All right, Trey, you good over there? Trey, sick of him.
What you say?
I'm sick of Trey.
Trey.
Yeah, Trey not answering me.
Oh, you did not answer me.
No, he didn't answer me. He don't know answer me. All right, y'all. Here we go. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button for your girl. Y'all notice it's quieter because Keyshawn gone, so Tatum is without his buddy. You miss Keyshawn?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
He'll be back tomorrow.
He go to his mama's house.
He went to his mama's house?
Yeah.
You didn't want to go to his mama's house with him?
No.
You didn't?
My mama just take me to his mama's house.
Oh, your mama gonna take you over there?
Yeah, he taking me to Keyshawn's house.
Oh, your mama gonna take you to Keyshawn's house?
Yeah, my mama just take me to Keyshawn's house.
Oh, okay. So why didn't you just go with TT? TT could have took you. Why didn't you just go with TT?
She just drive by herself and my mama drive.
Oh, okay then. All right then. Whatever, Tatum. I told you what he's doing too. Oh yeah, you bro. So ain't no telling.
I'm gonna get some more noodles.
You gonna get some more what?
No.
Okay. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Before, this is not the only piece of forensic evidence that appears to be missing. The medical examiner report from Dr. Aaron Presnell notes that fingernail clippings, hair from Stephen's scalp, and dried blood were gathered for law enforcement during the autopsy. But the existence of that evidence is not documented in the case file, at least not in the unredacted file we received in 2019.
See, y'all, that's what really be making cases so hard to solve. I'll find it for you. That's what be making the cases so hard. Like when evidence goes to getting missing and things of that nature. See, I can't. Let's listen, y'all. I'm gonna do more listening than talking.
There are no chain of custody forms for that forensic evidence, and there are no lab reports indicating that this was ever tested. And another issue that I should take note of here, like I said, it is strange that the Highway Patrol thought it was necessary to get a rape kit in a hit and run case. It's also very strange that soon after Stephen was killed, Highway Patrol went to Stephen's family and collected Stephen's electronics. Again, this was supposedly a hit and run. From what we've been told, that's what they were supposed to be investigating. This would not have been a standard part of an investigation like this one because Stephen's electronics were not with him at the time of his death, other than his phone. Why gather Stephen's electronics? If we're looking at this case through the lens of a potential cover-up, this would be one way to erase anything that might be considered damning in one way or another to certain people. Another strange part of this is that, according to the investigation file, Highway Patrol destroyed a piece of evidence in this case on December 29th, 2015. That was about 1 week after a then Hampton police officer went to investigators to recount his tale about how 2 kids were responsible for Stephen's death and that Stephen was killed by a side view mirror, a detail that appeared out of nowhere in the Hampton County Guardian about a month earlier. I want to stress that we have seen the death scene photos in this case, as Mandy mentioned earlier. Obviously, we're not experts on vehicular injuries, but the idea that this side view mirror theory emerged as an explanation for Stephen's injuries is about as plausible as saying Stephen died as a result of a polar bear attack. I want everyone listening to think about the set of circumstances this would require to be true. Sandy Run Road is a long, quiet country road. Cars can drive really fast on it, particularly late at night. And any vehicle driving that night would have been visible for quite some distance. Think about how close Stephen would have had to have been standing to whatever vehicle they wanted us to think he was hit by. And think about the physics of this. Think about what that would have done to him physically, how it would have knocked him over, and where he would have landed. Stephen appeared to have been perfectly placed in the middle of the road. His arms and legs were bent in the same way they would have been had someone been carrying him by the arms and another person had been carrying him by his legs and then lowered him to the ground. Let's say this was the scenario. Any path left by Stephen's bleeding from a vehicle, perhaps, could have been covered up by his pooling blood. And like Mandy said earlier, maybe the plan, if this was a cover-up, was for Stephen's body to be run over by a random vehicle to further taint the scene. So back to these 2 kids who supposedly killed Stephen and don't appear to ever have been questioned. As we
be true, with no coroner signature, it becomes questionable about the rape kit. Oh wow. Oh, okay. Okay, be true. Wow. They're talking about the 2 kids that were supposedly involved in the so-called. Y'all listen, this is a good part.
reported in an earlier episode, one of them, Sean Connolly, was facing 3 attempted murder charges in Hampton County at that time and was, according to the Public Index, a client of Corey Fleming. According to sources, Sean Connolly was a friend of Paul Murdaugh. Coincidentally, Sean lived on Sandy Run Road at some point after Stephen's death, according to records. At any rate, the Hampton police officer said he was told this by his former stepfather, Daryl Williams. According to the Highway Patrol report, Daryl Williams told the investigator that Randy Murdaugh told him to tell his story to law enforcement. As we reported in our last episode devoted to Stephen Smith, a private investigator hired by Sandy's former attorney, Andy Savage, told me last fall that Daryl Williams denies telling anyone that Randy Murdaugh made any such request. We'll have more to say about Randy in a second. It was 8 days after this revelation to law enforcement in December 2015 that Highway Patrol decided to destroy the in-car recordings of one of the responding patrol officers from the night Stephen was killed. 2 things are so problematic here. The first is that no evidence should have been destroyed in this case, none. Even if that was a recording of dead air, destroying it would theoretically only help the defense after a suspect is charged. No defense attorney is going to pass on the opportunity to suggest to a jury that this destroyed audio and video contained evidence that their client is innocent. That could be enough to sway one juror. The second problem is what was on that recording. In-car cameras not only record what's happening in front of the patrol vehicle, they record what the law enforcement officer is saying when they are within range. They can capture a lot of unintended conversations and comments, including phone calls that come in when the camera is engaged. The name of the Highway Patrol person who destroyed the evidence is, of course, illegible. But this is another area we hope SLED is looking into. Recently, former trooper Michael Duncan, a main investigator for the Highway Patrol, interviewed with the Oxygen Channel for a special episode called Alec Murdaugh, Death, Deception, and Power.
Oh, I gotta write that down, y'all. Oh Lord, let me write that down. I love Oxygen, y'all. What is my pen? Oh, hold on, y'all. Oxygen. I love Oxygen, y'all. That's the channel that Snap. Come on, Snap.
That's the crazy women channel.
Well, call it what you want. Call it what you want. I love oxygen. I'm going to check that out, y'all. All right, here we go.
In that special, Duncan said there was no chain of custody with Stephen's clothes. He also said that troopers who were eventually in charge of the investigation weren't given the opportunity to see Stephen's car in the place that investigators found it, which was on Bamberg Highway, about 3 miles from where Stephen's body was found. The placement of Stephen's car has always bothered me. For one, in the entire investigation file, it doesn't say the exact address as to where Stephen's car was found. It just says officers found it 3 miles from Stephen's body on Bamberg Highway. I have to point out that Bamberg Highway is the main drag that connects the town of Hampton to perhaps the most infamous location in this entire saga, the Moselle property. And again, to be fair, there aren't many roads in Hampton County, but it is striking when you look at the map. And that isn't all. There are so many coincidences in this case, and every time we look at this file, we find more. For instance, remember the South Carolina Highway Patrol state trooper who Alec Murdoch allegedly stole from? His name is Thomas E. Moore, and oddly enough, he was also one of the first troopers on the scene of the Stephen Smith investigation. According to the case file, Moore was the first investigator to question Dr. Aaron Presnell's decision to rule Stephen's death a hit and run. He is the one who wrote,
I asked her why she was ruling it as a motor vehicle accident and what she thought caused the head injury, and she told me it was not her job to figure that out. It was mine.
This was one of the most bizarre statements I've ever seen in a police report. It was like he was trying to hint at something. Like in between his words, what I read was him saying, there is no evidence of a vehicular accident here. I'm not sure why we're really investigating this. Moore, who is from Orangeburg, provided an extremely detailed report of his investigation between July 8th and July 15th.
Yes, it was the truth. Yes, it was. And see, they stated that at the beginning, so I was like, wow, that's a coincidence. Hell, he might have been leaving the property. He might have been going to the property. Anything. Another coincidence.
2015, before other troopers took over the case. And that's another thing that's confusing about this case file. It's really impossible to tell who is in charge of the investigation. The only thing that is consistent is that all of the troopers trained to study vehicular crimes found no evidence that Stephen was hit by a car. But 6 years after Moore investigated Stephen's death,
Okay, Miss Monica. Okay, sweetie. We'll be praying for your family because your family friend passed, so I'll be back. Okay, Miss Monica. Prayers up for you, sweetheart.
apparently hired Alec Murdoch to represent him in a personal injury lawsuit, and according to indictments, Alec stole $125,000 from his settlement through the forged scheme. I point this out because it's weird, and I have no idea what to make of it. South Carolina is not that small. We have over 17,000 attorneys and more than 10,000 police officers. And yet, it seems like the same few names repeat themselves over and over in this story, and we still don't know why. Maybe this is a coincidence, sure, but there have been so few coincidences so far. And something else we've noticed about this case, several of the people initially involved in this investigation seem to quickly change careers. For instance, Kelly Green, the deputy coroner who was in charge of the evidence transfer, was apparently fired after Stephen's autopsy in 2015, according to the report. Todd Proctor, who clearly sniffed out something was wrong in the investigation, no longer works for the Highway Patrol. Michael Duncan, who was a lead investigator at the Highway Patrol, now works as an insurance claims adjuster. And Laura Lynn Heydrich, the last person to be in control of the rape kit, the one that disappeared apparently, left the Highway Patrol soon after that case got started in 2015. And please, if we are saying your name in this podcast and you know more about what went down, please reach out to us. We would love to know.
Lastly, we need to talk about the Murdochs. Like we've said over and over, for Sandy and Mike, and for us, this is not quote unquote about the Murdochs, meaning all of us want investigators to follow the truth wherever it leads. That said, the Murdoch name is inextricably linked to this case. Not only because of the rampant rumors and their dozens of appearances in the investigation, but because no matter who gets indicted in this case, Stephen's killing is not solved because of a dysfunctional law enforcement system in Hampton County. No matter how you slice it, the Murdochs have played a pivotal role in shaping how justice has been wrought in the 14th Circuit for more than 100 years. The system is what it is because of their influence, no matter how much they don't want that to be true right now. So, Randy Murdoch, like we said earlier, a highway patrolman, Todd Proctor to be exact, had noted in the case file that Daryl Williams told him Randy had said to call law enforcement about the Sean Connolly information. This isn't the only time Randy's alleged involvement in the case was noted. Randy Murdoch was helping Stephen's father with a workers' comp claim around the time of Stephen's death. On the morning Stephen was killed, before the Smith family knew officially that the body found in the road belonged to Stephen, Randy called Joel Smith.
Wow.
Here's Sandy.
They called him at work and told him that he needed to get to the sheriff's department. So he went and I was on the phone. And then he put me on hold. He said, "Hold on, Randy Murdoch's caller." So he took that call. And then when he got back, he said, "Well, that was strange. Randy Murdoch's wanting to take Stephen's case pro bono." And he said yes. And then Randy says he never called. You know, Joe's not here to say, but me and Stephanie are, because we heard the phone conversation. Yeah, and even as to the point of Randy wanting Stephen's electronics. But the thing is, this is my story. Why would you want his iPad that was at the house? The iPad was not even on his. All they found was his key, his phone, and when they got to the car, they found his wallet with his ID in it. The iPad, how could it ping at 10 p.m. at the school when it was at Joe Miley Road? You would have confiscated all that if it was in the car.
In an interview with investigators from the Highway Patrol, Stephen's twin sister Stephanie said she had witnessed the phone conversation between her father and Randy. Patrolman Michael Duncan noted in his report that he asked whether anyone from the sheriff's department had contacted her.
No lawyers have contacted you about anything, have they?
Stephanie told him about the call from Randy and said he was the second person to call her dad after the coroner.
And he said he wanted to take the case and it would be free of charge and everything. And my dad's a little iffy on that. So, because it's kind of weird. No lawyer sits here and says it'll be free and you can have whatever money you want.
Then Duncan says,
and I'm required to ask this. Nobody with any law enforcement agency, including the Highway Patrol or Department of Public Safety, has asked you to change any facts or make up any lies or say anything that's not true.
No, sir.
So, we're obviously very skeptical about whether Duncan was actually required to ask those questions. He was either doubting the integrity of his fellow law enforcement officers or getting Stephanie on the record early to dispel any rumors that the fix was in. After Duncan's appearance in that Oxygen special about Alec Murdoch that aired last winter, and after his assertion that this case was, quote, shrouded in secrecy, it seems like he knew shenanigans were afoot. Again, we hope this is the kind of thing that SLED is drilling down on.
What did Duncan suspect? What did he know? What
knew a lot.
of that experience in July 2015 did he not commit to paper? And if he did indeed perceive that the case had been shrouded in secrecy, where was that coming from? And how far up did all of this go inside the halls of the state's Department of Public Safety? We mention all of this to basically say that the Smith family did not ask for any part of this. The case's connections to the Murdaugh family, however unclear those may be, along with this persistent lack of communication from law enforcement and the fact that Stephen's case remains pitifully unsolved, have put the Smiths in the center of a superstorm that is inherently unfair to them. Let me say that again. It is unfair. This is not how the people in power, how those law enforcement officers would want their families to be treated if they were in the Smiths' position. They would not stand for it. I can promise you, when I say that the vast majority of us cannot imagine the amount of pain that the Smith family has been through in the last 7 years. The state owes Sandy Smith and her children an apology and the reassurance that they will do better than that. As SLED and the Attorney General's office tell the public, they can be trusted to see this through, no matter how ugly and embarrassing it gets for people in power. And we'll be right back.
All right, y'all. There's like 10 minutes left, okay? And then we're done.
So what do we do with all of this? How do we get more momentum in order to get it solved? Are there any workarounds for getting answers? We asked Smith family attorney Mike Himlip about the possibility of a civil lawsuit in this case. The civil suit in the Mallory Beach case was essentially the catalyst to Alec Murdaugh's secrets that eventually were exposed. What power could Sandy have if she pursued things civilly? Could she subpoena people mentioned in the case file? Could she depose people? Who can they hold accountable for taking Stephen's life? As it turns out, there's not a whole lot that they can do right now because of the simple fact that they don't know who did this. They don't know if the truth was intentionally covered up. They don't know if they're in this spot because of gross incompetence or corruption. There is no smoking gun right now. To file a civil case, they would need to know who is responsible or reasonably know who is responsible. I know that this is South Carolina and that we don't do things like the rest of the world. But you still can't go around accusing people of murder or covering up murder. No court in this state would let Sandy in the door with that kind of lawsuit. Not even
Sean, let me tell you something. In this whole video, Miss Gloria, stop and take boo. You're going to hurt yourself. Listen, Miss Gloria, I hate to say anything about race as far as this case is concerned, because all the parties involved are Caucasian, except for one cop. Except for one cop. But this is the thing: they were called down to the police station positive on Thursday. That's why they were called to the police station. But Randy Murdaugh was tipped off that it was yeah. But I haven't seen, Miss Gloria, a lot of African Americans in this whole story. Like I say, it was one cop. That was it. The one cop that ran for the office, but other than that, it's just Caucasians.
Now, here's Mike. He can explain this better.
This entire Murdaugh saga has been in the public media in large part because of financial indiscretion and the lawsuits that have resulted from that. I don't even know how many lawsuits there are. And there are lawsuits about money stolen by Alec Murdaugh. There are lawsuits, multiple lawsuits about the boat crash that killed Mallory Beach. And of course, people want this case to fit into that mold of being just like this. This case is not like this. There's no financial component in this case. This is not an easy case. This is not a boating accident that was easily solved. This is a murder, a legitimate murder. And one of the most frustrating things for me, and I can't even begin to explain how frustrating this is for all of the Smith family, especially Sandy, is be listening to all these cases that have already been solved, and yet we know nothing. We know nothing. We know when his body was found. We know where it was found. We know the injuries that he suffered. We don't know who did it. We don't know why they did it. We don't officially know why they did it. We all kind of do, but we don't officially know that. There are no answers. So the idea of having a lawsuit in this case, I think that the botched investigation in 2015, 2016, the way that this was handled falls under one of two categories. Such gross incompetence that I have never seen on the level of law enforcement, or people intentionally obstructing justice. If we were to ever discover that was intentional, absolutely, I think the Smith family should seek a remedy for that. I absolutely think they should. But the problem is, we don't know that yet. And the statute of limitations for that is 2 years from when you knew or should have known. Well, how? We don't know, and how could we know? How could we know at this point? Because SLED hasn't given us any answers yet. So at some point, I still have faith that SLED will give us answers. I believe in.
You're right, D-True. You're right. That was another. Well, actually, it was two. Supposedly, D-True. It was a truck with a Murdoch. They didn't say whether it was Buster or Paul. Supposedly, it was a Murdoch, and it was two African American teenagers. You're right, D-True. I forgot about him. Yeah.
And the lead agent on the case and the agents who are working for that agent, I believe that he sincerely wants to find answers and that he's working diligently at that. If we ever find that there were people in Hampton County who were hiding the truth and protecting somebody on this gruesome murder, all bets are off. This Smith family should go after everyone. It's gross. It's disgusting.
And it is disgusting for every single person who has gone to bed all of these years knowing that they are choosing to make the Smith family suffer more because they are too cowardly to come forward. There are no more excuses. Fear is no longer an excuse. Now we are angry, and we hope SLED is angry too. We hope that they are grilling every single person named in this investigation until they get answers. We hope that one day Liz and I will look through SLED's investigation file and not see sloppy errors and egregious mistakes. We hope to read that file and see bravery and decency from the people of South Carolina. We all owe the Smith family that. We need people to come forward, either to Crime Stoppers at the Low Country or by contacting us at the Murdoch Murders Podcast or Mike Himlip's office.
We crave information. We're in an information vacuum. All the other cases that have arisen out of Hampton County, I mean, consider some of these financial cases, right? The victims knew that they had a case. They knew that one was being pursued, and then they knew that they didn't get the money. So then there was a paper trail after that. And what it was is go find the paper trail. Murders don't have a paper trail. There's no paper trail. Murders are solved by people talking. We're in an information desert right now. And for whatever reason, the community in Hampton County, they talk to each other, but they won't talk on the record. And that's what needs to change. That's what needs to change. I'm firmly convinced that there are people right now in Hampton who know exactly what happened. And they'll gossip and they'll talk about it and they'll spread rumors about it, but they won't get on the record and talk about it. And it's time that they start living with courage, living with bravery, and come forward and tell what they know. Call me. Call me in my office. I'll come down and meet you. We'll talk about it. People need to start having courage.
Stephen's case is so different from every other case in this entire mess because it requires a lot more courage. These secrets have been buried for too long, and yet Sandy has stood tall and taken the high road. She has supported other victims, including the Satterfields, and recently attended Gloria's gift celebration. A few weeks ago, CNN hosted a roundtable with several victims of the Murdaugh murder saga. Sandy sat for that interview and looked around and realized that she was the only one without any answers. And that just breaks my heart.
It's just like I told Mike that day that we done CNN interview. I was the only one sitting at that table that didn't have answers. The only one. And that made me so mad. But I was there. We talk about my son, but I was the only one there who had no answers.
Wow.
His case was not about money. To me, his case was about hate. And somebody hated him enough to kill him. And it's not fair. His story is just as much important as everybody else's story.
What matters is what happens from this point forward. What matters is that we all do the right thing to get.
Wait a minute. Who you talking to? What happened? Good luck with that. Detroit, what's wrong? What happened? Who he talking to, y'all? Oh, Lord.
The Smith family justice.
What we need more than anything is for people to have courage and come forward. And they need to tell us what they know. You know, it'd be great if they called Crime Stoppers, and it would be great if they called SLED. If they're nervous about that, they can call me. I'll talk to them. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a private investigator. I'll talk to them. I'll guide them through what they need to do. And they can call Mandy. They can tell them to call you. I mean, call Sandy. People just need to come forward. They need to come forward. They need to tell what they know. The lid has been lifted off of Hampton County, and there was a level of corruption there that used to exist that is no longer going to exist. But there is crust on the bottom of the pan that needs to be cleaned off. And that's going to be, the hard work begins, right? I mean, clearly, the people who are not coming forward are not coming forward because A, they're scared for themselves, B, they're scared for somebody else. There's no reason to be scared anymore. There's nothing to be scared about. Come on, come forward. Tell us what you know.
All right, y'all, that's it for that episode. Monica Mo Justice, the mother.
What he mean ain't nothing to be scared of. It's still some Murdaughs in that town working and running a law firm. They still got ties and power. And he wasn't the most powerful one, clearly, because he got fired from the place firm. So he got a brother-in-law or a brother or something?
That's true. That's true. Now, that, like I said, this video was done 3 months ago. As of 3 months ago, still no charges, no nothing. Like I say, as of I don't know exactly when Buster spoke. I know it was within a week. Buster finally spoke out on the allegations against him. I'm right at my 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna get off. But when we come back tomorrow, we're gonna be starting another segment. But I'm gonna start off playing what Buster Murdaugh had to say about Stephen's death. Okay, and like I say, I'll try to keep up and try to keep watching for any updates as far as Stephen's case. She said they need to come forward and make it right. Yeah, they do. They do, but my thing is I'm still waiting to see what happened to the young man that came forward and said something about doing it. I don't know. This is just too weird for me. It's frustrating. I don't know. But like I say, I will keep up with any updates. Like I said, when we come back tomorrow, I'll start off by playing what Buster had to say. I have not watched it. I may watch it tonight before I react to it. I don't know. But we will do that. The time was corrupt. Alex was that scapegoat. Yep. Yep. Did she say she said any? Yeah. So yeah, y'all, that's it for today as far as this case. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be starting a new segment. I think what I'm gonna do is cover the videos that they have on the housekeeper. I'm very, very I was saying that maybe allegedly the mother, which I can't think of her name right now, don't make me lie. Sandy. Is it Sandy? I don't know. But the mother who was killed by Alec, the mother and the son Paul was killed. But I want to see if there's any type of evidence that ties her into that, because there's allegations or rumors or whatever that she may have had something to do with the housekeeper's death. I wanted to get into the trial this week, but of course we hadn't done that yet because I'm still trying to inform y'all on the case or whatever. So hopefully I'll get all the rest of this out before we start the trial, which probably gonna be either this weekend or the beginning of next week. But with that being said, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all supporting this hashtag content that matters. Welcome, Monica Mo Justice. I see you came in at the end. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate you coming in. I wish you had came in earlier so I can get you on the panel, but that's okay. Maybe you could be here tomorrow when we talk about the housekeeper. I really want to know what happened with the housekeeper. I do. And so, y'all, with that being said, I'm going to get over here. I will be back in a couple of hours on my second channel to talk about Miss B Love's life and her response, but not so much of a response to Tasha K, because I don't know how much of a response you can give to a video that you say you never watched. So we're going to get into that tonight. Until then, y'all, Trey, you got any last words before we get off? We're going to react to the Oxygen Man Hater Network. Oh, did you? Don't do that. You and Trey don't stop with the Oxygen
Yes,
Network.
yes.
Okay?
We got to put the word out that any woman that watch Oxygen is crazy. They trying to kill us, the truth. We got to spread the word.
Okay, we'll be crazy. We'll be crazy. If y'all act right, we don't have to be crazy, though. I'm just saying. And for the record, when I sit down and watch the Snap Marathon, Tony be right there. We watch it today. Are you at work, Miss Monica? Okay, boo. All right, I appreciate you. I appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, Trey and the truth. When I be sitting there watching them Snap Marathons, Tony be right there. Okay? So it is what it is. Y'all learn how to act right, it wouldn't be a right, Melissa? If y'all learn how to act right, there wouldn't be an Oxygen Network. Okay? I'm just saying. Anywho, True Silvers, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for supporting this live stream. This hashtag content that matters. It means a whole lot to me. Whole lot to me. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Maggie is Buster. What are you talking about? Oh yeah, Maggie. Maggie. That's her name. Thank you, the truth, Maggie. Maggie is Buster's mother, but what's the housekeeper's name? I think it would. No, Sandy is Steven's mom. What is the housekeeper's name? It won't pop in my brain, y'all. But of course, when we come back tomorrow, I'll have that down. But yeah, that's what we're gonna get into tomorrow. I do too, Candy Corn. See you later, Slaying. Thank you for joining, sis. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all, listen, y'all enjoy this beautiful day, the rest of this beautiful day. Be safe on your travels home from work or wherever. I will see y'all later on tonight. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stress. Trey, I'll talk to you probably in the next few minutes. And yeah, that was not a response that Below gave. Miss Gloria, that's what I hear, child. Miss Gloria, I heard it was a whole lot of, but I ain't watched it. But we're gonna react to it tonight. I see you tonight, Miss Gloria. Oh, it was Gloria K, right? Thank you, Miss K. Her name was Gloria. Yep. We're gonna get into what happened to her. Cause I think, if I'm not mistaken, y'all, her death hasn't been ruled like a homicide or anything. I think it's still considered to be like an accident or something. But anywho, we'll get more into it tomorrow. I love y'all. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all later. And once again, I can't say it enough. Thank y'all for supporting this content that matters. Shout out to the subscribers. Shout out to my moderators and also my monetary contributors. Y'all be good until I see y'all later now. Y'all be good. Y'all try to try to be good until we come back. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for always encouraging, Tamara. Thank you. I'll see y'all later. All right, Trey. All right, D True.